In this video, we're going to discuss the large intestine, or what is commonly referred to as the colon. It's the last section of the alimentary canal or the digestive system. And there's not a whole lot that goes on in this, but we'll discuss the different functions here in just a minute. So food is going to enter the large intestine from the ileum, the last section of the small intestine, into the cecum through the ileocecal valve or ileocecal sphincter. Now, one thing you'll notice on the diagram here is you see the appendix. The appendix was often referred to as a vestigial structure, meaning that it didn't have any known function. Today we think it may be a beneficial breeding ground for bacteria that live in the large intestine that help us produce vitamins and other various useful procedures. Sometimes it can get infected and can swell and you get appendicitis, and oftentimes you'd have to have that removed before the appendix bursts, and that infection could spread to other parts of your abdominal cavity and be potentially life-threatening. So from the cecum, the food's going to move, or at least the undigested stuff from our food's going to move up the ascending colon, across the transverse colon, down the descending colon, through the sigmoid colon, and into the rectum, and then out through the anal canal. As far as the functions of the large intestine goes, there really isn't a lot of digestive function here. Most of the digestion and absorption of nutrients happens in the small intestine. There is some absorption of water and electrolytes that occurs that involves in a process we call compaction of the feces. Now, sometimes if the fecal material moves too slowly, we get constipation, and sometimes we need some fiber and some moisture to get that moving. If it moves too quickly and not enough water is absorbed, that results in diarrhea. There's mucus secreted to help move the things along and protect the lining of the large intestine. There are intestinal flora, or bacteria, that live there. These bacteria produce vitamins such as K, B12, thiamine, and riboflavin. And since they're produced here, they're also going to be absorbed from the large intestine into the body here. Feces is what's formed after everything's been removed that the body needs, and what's going to be eliminated through the process called defecation. As far as movements through the large intestine, they're very similar to the small intestine, except they're slower. They're less frequent than those in the small intestine. We have mixing movements like in the small intestine. We have peristalsis, the wave-like contractions, which actually are going to move things along through the large intestine. And we have mass movements, which usually follow meals, which result in defecation normally. As far as the feces go, there's mostly water, some electrolytes, some mucus, some bacteria. The color is the result of the bile pigments being broken down by the bacteria that live in the large intestine, converting it from that green color to a more brown color. The smell is produced by various bacterial compounds that are the result of them feeding on the fiber and undigested material